It's Nolan.
Give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Okay, I be the Black Avenger, more greater than Alexander. Number one contender, more money in my agenda. Be the king of my castle, enjoying all of the splendor. Yo, shout this on me on Tinder, she might be gone to November. That's my old life, Chick-fil-A waffle fries on my bull bites. Creeping through the street, shit, I'm finna have me a whole wife. Niggas still searching, I'm ghosting ladies like poltergeist. And got they smell up off me like Old Spice, you know I'm right. Hey, that's a damn shame. I don't be rocking name brands, I'm a brand name. That's how the cash came. I put some money on myself and made a bet. Had my bills stuck in jeopardy like a Malik Trebek. I put my life in these 16s. Always they chapel like the 16. Everything clean, shining on pristine. But try to play me my sick team. Got them for greens, digging for that gold like 3 kings, my nigga. Give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Wait, give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Hey, when I'm in doubt, I bring it back to the south. These label niggas acting fishy too, we treat them like trout. My contract stipulation keep me pleasing the crowd. But if they hating, I may have to amputate them like y'all. My nigga, who that? Y'all wasn't around for them fools down. Rockin' steel toes, yeah, around like it's boot camp. Hiding like Osama when my crush started looking till I started slinging wood like a young Paul. Boy, you know my motherfucking menace. Run game like a scrimmage. Got the fam out the trenches. My potential got no limits. Need change like a limits. How you pull my commitments? Nigga used to be timid. That white pledge independence been a go. The rappers didn't want to admit. I got the game in a choke. Now they gotta submit. I'm hot as it gets. Dropping payments down on the crib. I kept it solid with my partners and they pockets legit. Yeah, give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Wait, give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Hey.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Big shout out to all the insiders in here. Big shout out to everybody that's been joining in the chats, in the comments, in the conversations. And big shout out to everybody that feels some type of way lately. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to dive into all that, but just know I see y'all. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. And if you're not a part of that mission, if you're not a part of that escalation and elevation, it's okay. You were here for a certain amount of time. You jumped off the back. You know what I'm saying? Jumped onto another ship. It is perfectly fine. I hold no personal feelings against you for whatever reason that may be. Do it is best for you in your life, in your peace. I will do the same for me. All right. So today we're going to be getting into number one, Drake. Man, oh man, Drake. Now I know I did see somebody who said that we're a little bit too harsh, said the insiders are a little bit too tough on Drake. There's a lot of hate circulating on Drake over here at Inside the Industry. And I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what I mean, what I guess you want me to say. I don't control whether or not niggas like Drake. Right? I don't control whether they want to play his music. I don't care if they never want to hear that nigga again. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't control if motherfuckers think he's weird, which I personally believe he does have some weird tendencies about him. If you are a Drake fan and you feel some type of way about that, you may want to check yourself or check in on Drake and see if he gives a fuck. I'm sure he doesn't, because he likes to capitalize on all of the chatter, whether it goes right or left, okay? I've enjoyed quite a bit of music from Drake over the course of his career. And as we continue to move forward in that career, it seems that more of the music that I enjoyed from him, I'm finding out he didn't actually write himself. All right. Now, this lends credence to the complaints of Kendrick Lamar, basically saying it's not a 20v1, it's a 1v20 if I got to slap niggas that write with you. That adds credence to Pusha T talking about you. That adds credence to Meek Mill having issues with you. And it also adds credence to Quentin Miller, who helped write quite a few songs at one of your peaks in the career, and he hasn't been compensated for none of that work. Okay? We're going to cover all of those things in today's episode. As I just stated, new references keep leaking from Drake. As of this morning, as of today, 2 new leaks came out. Mob Ties from Scorpion, which is one of my favorite Drake songs off of that particular album, the Scorpion album. I used to play that song quite a bit when it dropped. Siggity Nick, hide some help. Get ready, Nick. I used to fuck with this record. I still fuck with the record, to be honest. But it makes me look at the situation so much differently. You know, honestly, I thought Young Thug had some influence on that record. Well, it turns out Vory is the ghost. Well, I won't even say ghost because he was credited, but people were trying to figure out, well, he's credited in there. What did he actually do? As a matter of fact, it seems that he did the hook. He did the first verse. Drake did some input on the second verse where he's actually kind of rapping. And then we have the record. From there, folks were in a tizzy today. Next thing you know, Ratchet Happy Birthday hits the scene and we've got Party Next Door. We've got a reference track with him vocalizing and doing his thing on there. And now we see that was not Drake's brainchild either, which is another song that's very popular. Not my favorite song from Drake, but a lot of people's, it's up there for them. Unfortunately, I cannot play Ratchet Happy Birthday. I've already run it through YouTube and it's been flagged. So that let me know. But I can play, at least for now, the Mob Ties reference from Vory, where we can hear the similarities in the record and we can hear some of the differences in the record because Drake did go in and change some of the bars, some of the lines and stuff like that. But for the most part, the main objective, the main idea, the main plot of the record seems that it originated from Vory. Okay? So let's go ahead and pull this up.
Stick these niggas, hey. Stick these bitches. Hire a shooter. You ready these bitches. And I'm on my riches. I turn out the bitch. I turn out the bridge. It is what it is. It's your black push, cause that Lambo moving fast. Watch your homie if he moving on his ass. In the rocket and that bitch ain't got no tax. Louis bags in exchange for body bags. Yeah. I'm sick of these niggas, hey. I'm sick of these bitches, huh. Sire shooter, Get rid of these bitches, Fuck what it was, hey. It is what it is, yeah. And I'm with the shits. It is what it is, and I'm so tired. Yeah. I fuck with a mob and I got ties. Yeah. They'll knock you off and pay their ties. Yeah. They want me gone, but don't know why. Yeah. It's too late for all that hubby-dubby shit. I don't trust that you my brother shit. That's why I'm done giving in. That's why I made myself a man. Oh, yeah. Say, yeah. It's too late, it's too late, it's too late for all that. Too late. Yeah. I'm not with a rah-rah. Yeah, I fuck on a dollar. Back on a dollar. Done dollar. Sound in the solid. Shout on the head like bottom. I'm sick of these niggas. Hey, I'm sick of these bitches. Sire shooter. Get rid of these bitches. I'm sick of these niggas. Hey, I'm sick of these bitches. I hire a shooter. Get rid of these bitches. Too late. Yeah. Yeah. Red beam on his mouth. Look like he been drinking Kool-Aid. Yeah. Yeah. Told her if she slept up on me, baby girl, now it's too late. I told her if she slept up on me, baby girl, now it's too late. Yeah. It's too late, too late, too late. No. Say.
All right, so that was Mob Ties, the original from Vory. Now, again, some of the lyrics were changed. Some of the cadences were slightly modified. So let's get to the real bars in the song, or the real lyrics, let's say. All right, siggity Nick, hide some help. You ready to nigga? That's there. Sick of the shit. Move to the Ritz. Turn out the bitch. It is what it is, yeah. So he changed sick of the shit, move to the Ritz, turn out the bitch. It is what it is. He also changed the first bar in the verse. He says, G elite, cause the llama moving fast. S class, G class, lot of class. You know, he had to upgrade. He had to upgrade the car talk. You know, Vory wasn't on that levels. You know what I'm saying? He kept it simple. He kind of upgraded the class. He did take the inner rocket and that bitch ain't got no tags. Louis bags in exchange for body bags. That was an original Vory thought. You know, he goes back to the thing. And I'm so tired. I fuck with them up and I got ties. That's also Vory. Knock you off and pay they ties. They'll be gone, but don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to it's too late for all that lovey-dovey shit, you saw that Vory was actually saying it a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? It's too late for all that lovey-dovey shit, young brother shit. All that. He went way too fast. He started just rambling, scrambling, and doing too much. But Drake slowed it down, gave it a more melodic, you know, drag. You know what I'm saying? It's too late for all that lovey-dovey shit. I'm your brother shit. All that other shit. It's too late for all that. You know what I'm saying? So the base of the song is the same. Even the rah-rah, I am a da-da thing, you know, that was part of what Roy was saying, but Vory, not Rory, was saying. But again, slightly too fast. So he slowed it down, and now with the rah-rah, I am a da-da, my bitch is Chanel now, your bitch in the sky. Then he came in and did some actual rap. This is where Drake actually came original, you know what I'm saying? And they shook, please don't let them fool you, I don't care how they look. Heard all the talking, now it's quiet, now it's shush. 29 is coming, they on edge when I cook. Lead the league and scoring, man, but look at my assists. Yeah, I be with Future, but I like to reminisce. I do not forget a thing, I'm patient, it's a gift. Try to tell them they ain't gotta do it, they insist. So that's all raps from Drake. I could tell, I just gave him 2 for 40 million like Chappelle. Standing over coffin with a hammer and a nail. Heard you hit up son, so the name don't ring a bell. Yeah, all that is original. So I'm going to say, at least on this song, we have a full Drake verse of actual original raps. You know what I'm saying? But again, the main objective of the song, the main idea of the song, the hook of the song, the vibe of the song, the primary melodies of the song, these were not originally Drake's pieces, okay? Now, the thing about these reference tracks, you know, is that they're making this stuff with Drake in mind, so they're kind of already catering to his strengths. They know he's going to change it. They know the melodies that he's like good as far as his pockets go. I don't think if Vory puts this song out himself, you know, even if they put it through mixing and mastering, it sounds like trash. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like somebody playing in the booth. Drake took it, crafted it into something else. You know what I'm saying? He has a more palatable voice, you know, and this is where, you know, I'm giving him credit. He takes these guys' ideas, he sits with it, he piecemeals it together. You know what I'm saying? Good stitching. Good, you know what I mean? You know, he does do some patchwork on that motherfucker. We're not gonna act like he just takes a nigga idea and just completely mimics it. But for me as a hip hop, somewhat of a purist, it's getting a little bit spooky. Because some of the other stuff that I've heard that other people wrote, I wasn't all that crazy about it to begin with. You know, but this was a song that I really fucked with. And now it's like, damn, bruh, this one too? Ratchet Happy Birthday too? Just for the extra icing on the cake? That's a lot to take in, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's a lot to take in. Now, I know some people out there is like, man, you didn't fuck with Drake, no way. That's not true. It's not true. Right? But the way things have panned out for him over the past since 2017, 16, whatever it was. It's just been reference after reference after reference after reference after reference. At some point, we do got to look at him and say, man, what the fuck are you doing? Okay? And that changes, honestly, the big three conversation that him and Kendrick and Cole were even having in the first place. It almost feels like the battle should have never happened. I'm glad it did because it was entertaining as fuck. But we don't have no reference tracks on J. Cole. We don't got nobody that done came out and said, I wrote this for him. I laid this down. I gave him this idea. We don't have none of that. At least not to my knowledge. If y'all have seen some, let me know. But I ain't seen a nigga come out and say I ghost wrote for J. Cole. We ain't seen a nigga come out. Well, there was a nigga that came out and said he ghost wrote N95 for Kendrick, but that turned out to be a lie. There are some reference tracks out there between Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem where they're said to have gone back and forth with some ideas in the studio. And even with that stuff, you know, some people go say, you're moving the goalposts, bro. That does make me look a little sideways at a couple records. But when I look at Kendrick Lamar's track record, we don't start hearing reference tracks until, 2022, 21? He already dropped, 4 albums? 5 if you count Section 80? So we know throughout the course of his career, he did all of that shit himself and just started getting, some input from his cousin. That reads a little bit differently to me than a guy who's got reference tracks that have been leaking out for almost a decade. Again, I know some people are going to be like, you're moving the goalposts, but that looks different to me. If you have reference tracks leaking for a decade and you try to compare yourself to a guy who has a reference track or 2 in his whole entire catalog that just leaked out from a year or 2 ago, that reads way differently. Doesn't take away any of the enjoyability of the records out in public. If I'm out doing whatever and those Drake hits come on, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to sing along to those records. Most likely. You know what I'm saying? But that's just where we're at on it. More information is being put out about the writers. The OVO Sweatshop is definitely turning out to somewhat be just that. And again, I understand Drake fans out there are angry, but it is what it is. The Ox Vibes on Twitter came out and said, confirmed Drake writers Beam, who Kendrick Lamar named in direct. He fucking said his name on Euphoria, saying you better have Beam with you, because he gonna smack him too. Got Quentin Miller, who we're gonna get to in just a minute. You got Party Next Door. You got Vory. You got The Weeknd. You got Lil Yachty. Somebody said Cash Cobain. Cash Cobain came out and debunked the theory that he wrote for Drake. So I'm going to go with Cash Cobain. He might be saving face, but it is what it is. But that's a long list of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minimum of 6. Not to mention, I always have to go back and look at this. The nigga that was writing on Take Care. It was OVO Hush. Yeah, OVO Hush. He's all over, not Take Care, but Nothing Was the Same. Right? OVO Hush says, well, he ain't say shit, but that nigga's name is all up in the credits. We went over this not too long ago, but now that we're back in the ghostwriting conversation, we got to talk about it, man. All right. OVO Hush, real name Anthony Paulman. Here's the songs he's been credited for writing on. All Me. Came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me. For real. How you gonna sing No Help and you got help on that fucking song? Not even including 2 Chainz and Big Sean coming through and ripping that shit. Dope record. Off of probably my favorite Drake album. Nothing Was the Same. But what the fuck? Crew Love. I could live with Crew Love. Furthest Thing. OVO Hush. Furthest Thing. Headlines. So he was on Take Care too. Hell Yeah Fucking Right. Another super big record. Headlines was a big record. The Language. Make Me Proud. Over My Dead Body. Ain't that the fucking intro to the shit? Take Care. You got the Take Care record song. Tuscan Leather. Now, there's Drake. Drake came out, and we're going to get to it. We're going to play some audio of Drake. But he claims, hey, you know, when it comes to the timestamp records or like my real lyrical records, I didn't get no help on those. Tuscan Leather. Will Be Fine. Worst Behavior. Another one that I fucked with. Wu-Tang Forever. I mean, dog, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 off of fucking Nothing Was the Same. Another 4 or 5 off of the previous album, and then all of a sudden he just stopped showing up in the credits mysteriously. A couple years later, your ghosts get revealed. He stopped showing up, but he's still part of the crew. Come on, man. Pay that man. Credit that man. Next thing, before we get to Drake speaking on this, we're going to get into Quentin Miller talking about his experience and how he got exposed as one of Drake's writers. And then we're going to get into Drake sharing his feelings about the situation. Okay? So give me a second. No, we're just gonna play the audio because this is a Vlad clip, and we're not playing no video from Vlad. Had to remember that. All right. And I would play the 10 bands reference, but that also got flagged when I ran it through the system. So for anybody out there that don't be really listening and still be wondering why I don't play certain songs or don't play the majority of the songs that I talk about on this channel, YouTube blocks the music, right? There's a couple ways they can block it. They either say you can't show this shit at all and say it's not visible to nobody, or they say you can show it, but it's not eligible for monetization. I am not in the business of doing anything for free. If anyone does not understand that or doesn't like that, we're all adults here. As adults, tell me what you would do for free. Okay? How much time are you investing into something that you would do for free? Okay? So just want to lay it out there and be real. So now we're going to pull up Quentin Miller talking about his situation with Drake. Okay? Let me make sure this ain't hella loud.
One of the verses that you wrote with Drake ended up showing on Rico with Meek Mill.
Yeah.
So how did that come together?
Yeah. At the time I was sending Drake ideas. This was post if you're reading this. I was just sending him a bunch of ideas and nothing was really going. So the fact that nothing was going, I had this one idea, which was Rico, and I sent it. At the time, I was going back and forth between him and Drama, DJ Drama, because just to give a little context, Drake was fucking with me on the writer shit, but he wasn't fucking with me as an artist. But when I would come back to Atlanta, DJ Drama and Cannon and Generation Now, they were fucking with me and the Coolest Mac. We have a duo called Wedding Crashers. So I had a super tight relationship with Drama at the time. So I sent him that just on some like, check me out. Cause I looked up to Drama the same way I looked up to Drake. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these are two legends, so just getting their approval on shit. A lot of times, just send shit or whatever. And one random day in a club with Drama in LA, he's like, yo, Meek got on that joint. And I'm like, what joint? He's like, the Rico joint. And at the time, I hadn't heard Drake's version of Rico. I didn't even know that Drake did it, so by the time I found out, then, we were already in it. We were in the thick of the shit.
Okay, so walk me through what exactly happened, because you're writing for Drake, and, you guys are having a lot of success with that. And initially, Meek Mill approached you to write for him as well?
Yeah, so after the Rico situation, and Meek has knowledge of the shit, then I was approached by... it was never direct. It was always through like Drama or Cannon. And they were like, yo, Meek wants you to write for him or whatever. And I was just like, nah, he asked me the first time. I said, nah. Then like maybe a week or two later, they asked me again. I said, nah, at this point, Drama was very upset. He was really upset about me saying no. And at that point, then it kind of raised like red flags for me. And that's when I started kind of hitting Drake about it. Like, yo, man, they're kind of pushing it. And then like the third time, they offered cash. And then I really wasn't with it because it was just like, okay, now they really pressing it like really, really hard, It's just something about it that just seemed off, And the crazy shit was, like I fucked with Meek at the time, but it was just something about that. And then like, when I had my first time actually meeting him was with Nicki Minaj in the room, and all their vibes, nothing was positive. Like they was just me mugging me and just like it was never like cool vibes, so I just wasn't trying to fuck with it,
Okay, because was there something about how you played some of the songs and Nicki was like, oh, we need the room, and like
Yeah. So this post Rico time or whatever, my first time actually seeing Meek and, Nicki was there too. And Drama was, he was playing. So like I said, my duo, Wedding Crashers, we was all up through there. So he was playing these Wedding Crashers songs that we was recording, but he was like picking the most like Drake sounding songs. And he played this one song, I forgot what it was, but it was like a kind of Drake-ish sounding song, and he took Mac's part off it completely. He just like only played my shit, and they was just looking. They was like, "Oh, that's him." I was like, "All right," and that's when Nicki was just like, "I need the room," and just like kicked us out the room. And the vibe was always like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was never like love. Hey man, I'm trying to work. Da da da. Like it was always like I don't know, some vindictive shit. And now after hearing even Drama's perspective, and which I guess is understandable. A guy, messes with your girl and then like puts it in a song. Obviously, you're gonna want some get back, but it's just unfortunate that that was kind of done through me. So,
what do you mean a guy messes with your girl and puts in a song? Which one?
I mean, he said on Drink Champs, I guess the summer line, the summer. I don't want to mix up the name, but I guess Drake made a line about, a girl that he was messing with at the time, and Drama admitted that, he wanted some get back. And that's kind of where the origin of, everything he did came from. And I kind of just was just this bystander,
All right, so that's Quentin Miller's assessment of the situation for the song Rico. Of course, Rico was featured on Meek Mill's album. Which album was that, by the way? It wasn't Championships, because that's the one that came out after he got out from prison. So it would have to be the album before that. Wins and Losses, I believe. What was on Wins and Losses for even Whatever You Need, Young Black America? I don't remember those records. But wasn't Rico on there? I don't see Rico on there. Hold on. Was it Dreams Worth More Than Money? Let's look at the track. Yep. Okay, so this is the one. Dreams Worth More Than Money. All right, this had some singles on it. It had Check, All Eyes on You, and Rico. All right. So Meek Mill finds out that Quentin Miller wrote Drake's verse and I guess the hook for Rico. So then he starts snooping around like, hey, I need you to help me get some shit too. You out here working with Drake. I need some of that sauce. This nigga says, nah, I'm good. Right? Niggas start getting mad. Drama's feeling some type of way. Meek's feeling some type of way. He feels like Meek and Nicki are looking at him weird in the studio. Hey, man, the industry speaks for itself. This is somebody who was around and he didn't have nothing. You know what I mean? He was just working. And they was treating him like the little homie when he was really the one carrying all the goddamn ragu. So Drama's got some incentive because Drake smashed on his girl, which he alluded to, saying that Drama admitted it on Drink Champs with Nori, which he did. And he was feeling some type of way. So they were trying to find angles in which they could expose Drake. But let's get into Quentin Miller and Drake a little bit more specifically, because again, for all those records he did on the If You're Reading This It's Too Late album, Quentin Miller was not properly compensated. It was not Drake's fault necessarily, but he was in a bad publishing situation that ended up not being beneficial to him. So we're still, you know what I mean? There's some radio stations that still play those Drake records and he gets no residuals. He gets no nothing except, yo, you know Quentin Miller did that. That's all he gets. Industry shady. It need to be taken over.
And then the fallout from this whole situation happened. Taxstone said he got death threats in Philly over the whole story. But Taxstone is going to be Taxstone, so he wasn't really tripping. And then OG Macko came forward and said that you had blamed him over some of the stuff that happened.
Well, that's because OG Macko did. Because Meek didn't know my name at the time. I mean, I'm sure he would have found out though. But he was like, "Who said my name?" I mean, he said, "What's his name? What's the guy's name that writes the shit?" And OG Macko, he put out, he told him like, "Oh, it's Quentin Miller, da da da." You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It just felt like he got himself involved in some shit that like just didn't have nothing to do with him. He didn't really know the situation and what was going on. I don't know, man. Even y'all interview that y'all had, man, like, I don't know. So a lot of things were exaggerated, but it's crazy because I'm cool with so many people in OGG, you know what I'm saying? So I don't got beef with OG Macko, man. Like, shout out to OG Macko. I hope he's doing all right. Shout out to the whole OGG, man. I'm cool with too many people. We got too many good mutual friends, for that shit, so I'm not harboring nothing, but he did inform me though. He did jump in there. Like it is what it is.
Well, you had said that Meek had kind of Kanye'd you. You said it was sort of like my Taylor Swift moment, and Meek Mill kind of Kanye'd me. got Kanye'd by Meek, but it's all good.
Because it was like, I don't know, it's just really inconsiderate. Even, I don't know. It's just very inconsiderate. It's like, I don't matter. It's like, I don't matter. All the way up to, I don't know, maybe just because I was just a writer or, I don't know. It was just like, I just didn't matter. Just like, fuck this guy. Even with drama and them, like, just kind of just throwing my whole life, on the back burner, just like, whatever, just to get at a nigga, like, but what about me? What about me taking care of my family? And, the fact that I put my whole life into this shit, I don't have no other skills. I ain't go to college, like, I make music. That's my skill, so it's like, they don't really think about the repercussions of shit that goes on, Like, I'm working with a nigga that literally is about to change my life, Even though, I was in my horrible publishing situation with Tricky, so I never got a publishing check off of any Drake songs.
Wait. You never got a publishing check off of any Drake song?
No. I never got a single publishing check off any songs. I had to feed my family off getting paid under the table in that situation because Tricky and them wouldn't let me go. And it took me, I didn't get out that deal till 2019, 2020. I signed 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let me out. I had to let go of a lot of shit just to get out. But even while I was in it, I never got a publishing check or nothing. I was just living, just grinding, bro. Like I was grinding it out, just hoping that one day that one song, working with that one artist is gonna change something. And that was the Drake thing, but it just didn't change anything.
All right, so we're not blaming Drake for that. We gotta really blame Tricky Stewart. Tricky Stewart. We putting it on you, sir. Now, what type of deal are we talking about? We're talking about a publishing contract, right? A publishing contract means that when you sign it, whomever you're signing with, you're basically signing over the songs that you write to be added to their catalog so that they can exploit them, put them out, sign off on them, collect royalties on behalf of you. And in theory, you're supposed to be compensated off of it, right? The problem is when people like a Quentin Miller or young writers, artists that don't have a lot of, let's say, experience, maybe don't have the right attorneys around them, don't have top 40 hits to their name at the time when they signed the deal. A lot of artists or writers in that era, especially the 2010 era, they got caught up in what is called MDRCs. I talked about this probably a year ago for some of my OG subscribers, but the MDRC basically, to give y'all an update on that, and a lot of them are being taken out of people's contracts today because of, shout out to Tiffany Red, because she put her fucking neck on the line to help really pressure Sony into removing those from a lot of people's contracts. But basically what a MDRC does is they give you a minimum requirement of songs that you have to fulfill in order for you to basically max out your contract, right? Which means it will be fulfilled, and then you have the option to redo your contract, you know what I'm saying? Sign again. Or you could say, I'm good, we'll move on, I want to do other things. The problem with the MDRC is that they then created a clause, or not even a clause, but just a workaround. So you think when they tell you, hey man, you have to write 30 songs in order to get out of this contract. You got to write 30 songs in the next 2 years. To a songwriter, they're going to say, oh, what, word? 30 songs? Man, I got you. I can do that in a few months. I can do that in a couple real prolific weekends. For real. No, no, no. Because then that's where everything else comes into play. 30 songs means you have to write 100% of 30 songs. You go in the studio and you write with someone else, a co-writer, a producer, your percentage automatically gets deduced, right? In a perfect world, if you're writing with a producer and a let's say another writer, y'all are splitting that 33 and a third. So your percentage is 33 and a third. So you didn't write the song, you wrote 33% of a song, which means that you need another 67% to make one song whole. So you could go back in the studio and make those 3 records, right? With that producer and that writer. Those 3 songs will now count as one towards your commitment. However, if it were that simple, life would be so breezy, wouldn't it? No. Then, once y'all write the song, you then have to find a major label artist for the song to go to. Because if you put it out independently, it does not count towards your commitment. You know what I'm saying? Or if it does, it has to reach certain benchmarks. It has to hit the Billboard. It has to do all of these types of things. Otherwise, it does not count. So then you go and say, well, if I put it out myself, it don't count. So let me get with a major label artist. Boom, you get a major label artist. Let's just say you get Rihanna to sing it. Just random artist. All right, cool. I finally got my credit. Nope. Just because she sung it doesn't mean it counts. It has to be released. And let's just say Rihanna doesn't release music. We know that to be true. So if it's sitting in the vaults, it does not count towards your commitment. It has to be released by a major label. And again, once that one song comes out, you only get credit for 33% of it, which means you got to find more mainstream artists to sing the rest of your songs on a major level in order for you to keep that rolling. Let's say there's a co-producer on there. You get deduced down to 25%. So now it takes 4 songs to equal 1. And you have to go through that same process to get an artist that's deemed worthy in order for it to actually be released and for it to count towards your commitment. So what you thought you were able to accomplish in a few months or at least a year at minimum, it may take you 5-10 years to work out of that contract because you're working against percentages. Then, not only that, but we've talked about this with Beyonce, and this is not a knock on Beyonce. I love Beyonce. But artists of her caliber, when you bring a song to them and they start working on the vocal production, they start changing a couple things around, even though they're not necessarily writing it, but they're changing a couple things. Beyonce then says, I need some writing credit on this too. I need to eat off this too. So then that original writer who's in that publishing contract, in that MDRC, their percentage gets deduced down even more, which means you got to make even more songs before you can get up out of your MDRC commitment so that you can fulfill your contract. You know what I'm saying? And in the interim time, you're not making no money and those songs come out. You're not getting no percentage because the publishing company that signed you is now collecting on that. And they're probably giving you like a monthly retainer. You know what I'm saying? They might send you, they're not going to give you nothing crazy, but they might send you $5,000-$10,000 a month just to keep you rocking. Some people getting $2,000, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you real rookie level, they might send you $2,000 a month just to make sure that you could pay for your apartment and go to the studio. So they're advancing you that so that you can keep working. So they're going to say, we're just going to collect what we're already giving you. So when those songs come out, the royalties come in, you're not going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because your royalties are going to make us whole for what we've invested into you. So you're not getting anything other than your monthly retainer, which is barely helping you survive. So that's why someone like him, you know, he said he signed his original publishing deal in 2011. He didn't get out of it until 2019, 2020, because he was stuck like Chuck with Tricky Stewart. And people like Tricky Stewart, people like Polo the Don, people like Sony Music Publishing, and others, for years, they had been getting over on writers with those clauses which basically kept him in indentured servitude for extended periods of time. Super producer Hit Boy was also locked in a similar deal like that with Polo the Don. Not to mention, he wasn't getting paid. So in his situation, he was producing those records for Kanye, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all these people. He wasn't getting none of his pub checks for years because he was in the same situation. So it's fucked up. And when we look at what 10 Bands did for Drake, what Know Yourself Rolling Through the Six with My Woes did for Drake, that's still a TikTok viral song today. Like that, and he ain't make shit off it. I think Drake found him when he was working at Publix in the fucking cake department or some shit. I'm sure he wished he still was working at fucking Publix in the cake department rather than doing the songs for Drake and not getting nothing for it except basically getting his name besmirched in the media. And then he ended up getting beat up by Meek Mill and his entourage because Drake never came to his defense. In the midst of all of this coming out, Drake never spoke on it, never said, yo, nothing. It took until, 2019 for Drake to finally acknowledge it in an interview with Rap Radar, which we're going to talk about right now, for him to finally speak out and say, I'm proud of the stuff we made. But you didn't say it when that nigga needed your help. The nigga was getting jumped. Nigga was getting outed. He was being blamed for the leak, even though he wasn't the one that did it, but he didn't want to snitch. It's fucked up, man. So here's what Drake had to say about the situation.
Far beyond probably my wildest dreams,
But that project's obviously riddled in controversy because of Quentin Miller, right? A lot of people feel like, well, he helped you with some songs, and even to this credit, I feel like you're still battling these ghostwriting rumors and this type of thing that in some sense, I think, does try to tarnish your legacy, whether it's effective or not. Like, how do you look back on that album and does that still take away anything from that album for you? Or how do you view it now when you look at it?
No, I really have, I've really made my peace. I have no embarrassment when it comes to what I did on that album. I worked with somebody on, I think 4 or 5 songs on that record. I pulled my weight when it came to my pen. It wasn't like I just, it wasn't like I needed somebody to facilitate, entire ideas. We worked together. And if I need to be the poster child that took all those hits for all my peers hiding behind me that do the same thing every fucking album, that's fine, I'll do it. Because there's a lot of people that link up with other people and make records that you guys love, right. And that's kind of how music is a collaborative thing, It's and I understand in rap, of course, in your comment section, it's a little different because we conduct ourselves, and I still associate myself in that community, we conduct ourselves by a few different rules. We tweak the rules a little bit in the sense that...
If it's a hook, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like, there's things like that, but, with that being said, like, anybody that knows me knows that my strongest talent is writing. That is my strongest talent. I'm not a great singer. I'm a good performer. I've grown into a great performer. But my greatest talent is writing, and that's why people ask me to write songs for them. That's why people like to get in the room and write with me. And yeah, I want to just encourage anybody, like, look, if it makes a great song and you're the one that's voicing it, but it's you and this other person that's cooking it up, you're not doing anything wrong, And that's like just, again, for me speaking to any new artist, like, don't let anybody tell you that you're not supposed to collaborate on music. That's what this is for. We should, whatever gets you to that destination where you have, a great body of work. If you need somebody to write the whole thing and all you do is just go in and track it, there's still artists that exist like that to this day that people love and revere, and they sell out stadiums.
That's not you, though.
That's not me, no. I've wrote all my biggest songs, and any song that really...
He's talking about Kanye there.
...really did damage for me, I've wrote every single lyric. So that, like...
The hits, yeah.
The hits and the ones that you would, like, it's like, I'm not gonna collaborate with somebody on any of the timestamp records. I'm not collaborating. I'm not collaborating with anybody on, you know, Marvin's Room or, you know, like the R&B records that are, you know, other than me and Party. Like I love working with
But I
Party.
think when you say the timestamp records, that is like the MC, like the
Those are
bars,
best.
right?
Yeah.
Those are like, so I think the idea was like try to discredit you as an MC that all of that doesn't come from your pen.
Of course.
You're saying that comes from your pen.
But again, curated by the people who are ready to see the downfall of Drake. So again, just another little like, let's try this angle. You know, it's really like I said, I've done studio sessions with people. When I collaborate with people, I always send the idea first. You know, I'm the one that picks the beat and goes, yo, here, just put a verse on this and take that for your album, your single or whatever. You know, I put work in. People know me. I'm good for it. You know, so that's why I'm never really stressed about like that narrative. It's cool. It's fun. Again, it's cool for like memes and people that want to laugh and all that dumb shit. But
how
it's
do
like,
you feel in that moment of Meek sort of putting that out there and then everything goes crazy, right? A guy that was your friend, you know, things get a little hectic with you guys at that point, right?
Yeah. He was. I think he was in a bad mental spot, and he just made like a decision to go crazy. You know, it was. If I remember correctly, it was based on a show that I didn't show up for. That was like the tip of the iceberg. I think we had a little miscommunication, and he was under the impression that I confirmed that I was pulling up to one of his shows, and I think it was maybe one in Philly, and I didn't show up, and you know my management or somebody reached out to say I wasn't coming, and I think you know that being coupled with whatever, you know, conversations were happening amongst him and his lady, and you know him just kind of getting this idea, maybe I don't fuck with him or whatever. And you know he'll tell you himself he wasn't in the best mental spot at that time, and you know I think he just took a hard left and decided to just go for it, and felt like he had enough ammunition to maybe you know put a major dent in my armor or decapitate me, you know, and again I'm really good at channeling that negativity and those pressures into pushing me to a next level where I go into a calculated reactive space.
Charged up, back to back. You almost took the bully position, like where y'all at? Like,
yeah, I mean, I just felt like, you know, in that moment, I just felt like, all right, well, if we're talking about music, let me just show you better than I can tweet you, you know, or better than I can text you. I'm just gonna show you what I'm about. And I don't think anybody really expected me to just jump out there and defend myself and go first. And
twice.
And second. So yeah, I think, you know, Charged Up was a thing that, you know, I was just seeing if it was real. I was just seeing if it was, because you know, you never know how calculated someone's plan is. Maybe they've been sitting on the record for 6 months, they hated you all this time, and they just want to fry you. Right. And so Charged Up was my way of being like, you know, is it real or is this just like a sporadic like outburst? You know, I just wanted to know if it was real, if it was a package or if it was just like maybe like a mistake on his part, you know. And I started to realize that it was
taking an adversarial stance in a sense.
Yeah. And then I had made the decision that I was gonna go again.
All right, so there's Drake on Rap Radar talking about not only the Quentin Miller situation, but also the Meek Mill beef, where Quentin Miller was, of course, revealed as one of the writers in the camp for some of those big records that came out. But then we also got a little bit of insight into how Drake looks at beef in hip hop, which to me, when he says, you know, nobody expected him to jump out and be the aggressor first and then go first and second. If you look into the beef with himself and Kendrick Lamar, and of course the other guys that were already, you know, ganging up on him, so to speak, on the future Metro Boomin album, it gives me a little bit more understanding into the psyche that he had, because he felt like, all right, this time I'm not going to just do a Charged Up, right? I'm not gonna do a charge dub. I'm not gonna do a duppy freestyle. Like when he came out with Push Ups, it wasn't the most lyrical record, but it was a strong enough record to go ahead and slap everybody and see what they were gonna do. Right? Because again, he had already been through this a couple of times before, and he's like, you know, he likes to set the tone. He likes to set the temperature because he has a fan base that's gonna jump in and clown whoever he's going at, and that typically works in his favor. So I think in the situation with him and Kendrick, he tried to basically beef it up on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me smack him, drop and give me 50. Let me smack Future. Let me smack Metro. Let me smack motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Rick Ross. All these niggas. And it was a solid diss record. Then he comes back with Tailor Made just to troll the situation, because I think at that point he felt like he was riding high in the lead. You ain't got nothing to drop. You ain't doing shit. Y'all niggas is walking away from the fight after I done smacked you. Ha ha ha, nigga. Let's get the memes. Let's party up. If y'all really want to get it, we could get it. But I'll celebrate the victory if that's what you're trying to do. But he got a little bit cocky. Underestimated Kendrick Lamar. He just said you never know if it's just a miscalculation, if it's just a misjudgment, or if somebody really got a package. I don't know why he didn't go back and watch this interview before he did what he did, because Kendrick had the full package on some Lex Luger shit. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick had a whole package of shit. Had different right, lefts, uppercuts, body slams, suplexes. He had the entire Chris Jericho shit going on. So, nonetheless, that gives you a little bit of insight into Drake and his perspective on battle and how he treats it. Not to mention, as of today, we've got new leaks. Furthermore, we just spoke about Kendrick. Kendrick continues to keep winning. As a matter of fact, where's this article? Damn, where'd it go? This article here says, just like us, Kendrick Lamar breaks streaming records. Fans enjoyed the spectacle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake so much that the Billboard Hot 100 chart underwent a historical update. Kendrick Lamar broke streaming records with his diss Not Like Us, aimed at the Canadian rapper. Not Like Us dethroned Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP, which held the record since 2020. In addition, Not Like Us surpassed Fortnite by Taylor Swift and Post Malone, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. In just 5 days, Not Like Us had amassed over 70 million official streams, 5 million radio airplay impressions. Wow. I didn't know. Well, shit, of course. And sold 15,000 copies in the US with over 96 million streams in total, which is the most streamed song ever in a 7-day period. So if anybody is out there saying Kendrick is only seeing success off this record because it's dissing Drake, that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Drake effect was that serious, Family Matters would at least be number 2, and it's not. They say Lamar's Not Like Us also broke a Spotify streaming record with a daily high of 10.99 million streams. It became the most streamed American hip hop song in a single day, passing Drake's and Lil Baby's Girls Want Girls, which we spoke about the other day. And their original total on that was 6.59 million. His came in at 10.99 million. So he almost doubled it. Okay. Not only is Not Like Us doing numbers, but also Euphoria is doing numbers. Okay. According to chart data, which updates on people all throughout hip hop and just the industry in general, they say Kendrick Lamar's Euphoria has now sold over 1 million units in the US. So Euphoria is about to be certified platinum as a single with no real hook, just 6 minutes of going crazy. The wins are writing themselves. And I liked all the records that both artists dropped in this battle. So for all the OVO fans out there, this ain't what you think it is. But Kendrick did win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The nigga won. And if you think that there's going to be a continuation of the battle, it will work in you and your GOAT's favor that he bows out, doesn't say nothing else, because he's just going to get smacked around again. Just going to be honest. Because if Kendrick comes out and drops another Euphoria or another Not Like Us or another Meet the Grams or anything along those three templates, it only gets worse. So keep making us dance, waving our hands, and it won't be no threat. All right? We're not going to stay on Kendrick for too long because I don't want to rub it in, but we had to acknowledge it. Okay? Now, an interesting tweet was brought to my attention today talking about the timeline of Jay-Z and Drake's Subliminal records. All right? There's some people out there that have never been paying attention. I've been paying attention. I've heard a lot of lines that I felt from both of these artists that were aimed at each other. If you just listen, because I'm an avid listener. But we've got this guy here, Keeping Culture Alive, aka Q4 Queese on Twitter, who wanted to break down the timeline. Okay? So, what song is this? Drake subs Jay-Z and Kanye on I'm On One, with DJ Khaled saying the throne was for the taking. The throne being Jay's position as number one in hip-hop, and also a double entendre for Kanye and Jay's name as a duo. Of course, they were known as The Throne, right? And I'm On One came out in, what year was that? 2011, 12? Hold on. 2011. Okay. So then they say now Drake once again took aim at Jay on It's Good, as Jay and Wayne had a verbal sparring of their own. Jay had dissed Wayne on Ham after both men spoke on Jay in an interview. Of course, Wayne comes out and threw some shots. And Drake wanted to hop in for his mentor. Jay says, I'm like really $500,000. I'm like, really, you got baby money? Okay, the baby money thing. And of course, Wayne jumps back and said, talking about baby money. I got your baby money. Kidnap your bitch and get that how much you love your lady money. Right? So, let me see what they talking about Drake said, because unfortunately, I can't play the lyrics. All right, so on this song, Drake raps, mine in one place, heart in another. Please pardon my brother. He's just angry at you niggas. We don't have your heart. What? We don't have your heart in your rap shit and got too fucking comfy because we still fucking hungry. Young Money got the munchies. Faded. Fucking faded. Oh, yeah, I'm fucking faded. They telling lies about me. Oh, yeah, I must have made it. Rikers Island on this flow. 8 months for that pistol, but at least they had some bad bitches working in that shithole. 3 visits later, I went and did it major, so fuck the judge, the jury, and the litigator, watching all these kids who thought they had it figured out, and then November came, they let my nigga out. But basically, on there, he says, pardon my brother, he angry at you niggas, we don't have heart in the rap shit, you got too fucking comfy. Basically saying, Hove, you done got too comfy in your spot, we coming for it, we hungry, we got the munchies, nigga, get the fuck out the way. Not really all that hard, but just enough to say, we see you taking, you know what I'm saying, shots, talking about baby money, which, unfortunately, when we look back at that in hindsight, Wayne didn't even have the baby money. Damn. Q4 Queese says, Kanye goes on to admit that Watch the Throne album was made because of all the success Drake was seeing so early on in his career. I guess they wanted to make a statement to say, you're not taking our spot just yet. Drake then does an interview with Billboard about losing to Jay-Z at the Grammys and unleashed a quote. He said, the one that really got to me was when I lost to DOA for Best I Ever Had. Okay, Death of Autotune by Jay-Z. He wanted to win a Grammy for Best I Ever Had, and that dream was not fulfilled. He says, that one to me was like, really? Not to say that Jay-Z isn't the most incredible rapper and that DOA wasn't a good song. I just felt like they had an option to give me a Grammy for a mixtape, and they just didn't do it because it goes against the grain of everything that is traditional. At that point, Jay-Z reaches out to Drake to congratulate him on blockbuster album sales when Take Care was released. He sent him a handwritten note. Okay. After things seemed to be smooth and the pair collaborated on Drake's Nothing Was the Same album on that was Pound Cake, right? Drake once again takes a subtle jab at Jay-Z in a Rolling Stone interview. He says, it's like Hove can't drop bars these days without at least 4 art references. I would love to collect art at some point, but I think the whole rap art world thing is getting kind of corny. And at the time when Drake said this, I remember this because I agreed with him. I didn't want to hear about all that fucking Basquiat shit. I didn't want to hear about that shit. I didn't want to hear about the Picasso in my casa. That shit wasn't for me. Still isn't. When I listen back to Magna Carta, had some great beats on there, but his rapping was some of the worst of his career. And I've told y'all, Hove is my GOAT until further notice. Jay-Z hops on Drake's We Made It beat and disses him, calling him Mrs. Drizzy, then boasting about his black card. They say this is a fade that Drake gladly ducked. Okay? So I guess in this song, let's get here, Drake, Jay-Z, We Made It freestyle. Let's get to those lyrics. And if you don't like... If you're not into hip hop and lyrics and people taking shots and having fun, you want more gossip, you want more, you know what I mean? This ain't probably the video for you, and that's okay. So on that verse, Jay-Z says, hop off the slave ship, popped off my chain and took it to Jacob. So first line, he comes in and says, hop off the slave ship. You motherfucking rappers is slaves. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, at this point, it's already been revealed. If you've been paying attention at this point in Drake's career, we already knew he was signed to a nigga that was signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. Pusha T hadn't even said it, but we knew, okay, the math's not mathing. So he says, hop off the slave ship, popped off my chain and took it to Jacob. I got it gold plated. Walk in that bitch like nigga, we made it. I own my own masters. You know I ain't missing no royalty statements. I can't be rated. Damn, Hove, stun on them haters. Sorry, Mrs. Drizzy, for so much art talk. For a nigga to call you Mrs. Drizzy? This is even before BBL Drizzy. He called you Mrs. Drizzy. Niggas been speaking on your sexuality. Damn. He says, sorry for so much art talk. Silly me rapping about shit I really bought. While these rappers rap about guns they ain't shot and a bunch of other silly shit they ain't got. I'm on my Lupita Nyong'o. Stunting on stage after 12 years a slave. The ace of spades look like an Oscar. Black tux look like a mobster. Don't make me raya. You know, raya is in the automatic going rah across the room. Nigga, watch your tone. I come to court with black boxers on. Y'all hella jealous of my melatonin. Damn, that nigga start talking about... Damn, was he going at your light skin back then? Was he already on this wave? Damn. I got blackout at any given moment. I'm God. G is the 7th letter made. So when my arms and feet shackled, I still get paid. All praises due. I'm ready to chase the Yakub back in the caves. Damn, he going at the white folk too. These are the last days, but do I seem phased? Show up to the Last Supper in some brand new J's. I'm the true and living Book of Hove, new religion, 8th wonder of the world, alien superstition. You blind, baby. Superstition, Stevie Wonder, you blind. Nigga be talking, man. Blind to the fact of who you are, maybe. My bloodline's crazy. Kings and queens and Michael Jordan rings. I go as stupido, sucio. The flow is filthy. You can't kill me. I've been inoculated from the snakes and the fakes and your corny handshakes. Cocksucker, we made it. I'm under the belief he had to have sent at least 70% of that verse at Drake to let him know, if you really want this smoke, I got it for you. And they say Drake gladly went the other way for a little bit. But a week later, Drake then drops Draft Day, Johnny Manziel. Y'all remember that record, right? So then he starts trying to talk greasy. This shit is fun for me. Drake Draft Day. Let's get into the bars on that one. Draft Day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft Day, 8 Wiggins. Fuck the other side, bitch. We stay winning. Oh, man, you know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Yeah, suits and ties yelling out, pay the guys. Man, I had to do it for you. Comes in, sometimes I laugh with God about how you can't stop me. I'm his darkest angel probably, but he still got me. I'm getting mine, but still I better lives and shit I set aside to make sure that my people getting by. Brunch with some Qatar Royals and my cup is all oil. You know it's real when your niggas will take the fall for you. So here we go with this mob tie shit saying, hey, my niggas will take the fall. They'll go out and do some crazy shit. All loyal, so you keep egging me on. And we gonna have to crack a shell just to prove to you you ain't hard boiled. Last night I tried some raw oysters. Man, that boy growing up quick. That boy know he the shit. The boy singing on every song when he know he could spit. The boy manifested it. That boy knew it was written. That boy did it on purpose. That boy knew that they shitting on you and they can't get past you. You should have followed all my moves. You won't realize till after. And I left this shit to Chance. I could have picked a name like Chance the Rapper. Yeah, no offense, because I don't know that nigga. I'm focused on making records and getting bigger. Just hits, no misses. That's for the married folk. All right, so here's where we start hearing him taking more shots at Jay. For the married folk, you go live up, go to your penthouse suite with your wife. Go tour with your wife. You niggas is married. We don't see you without her. You don't really want to smoke out in these streets, right? That's his response. It's not very believable, but he wanted to defend himself somehow. Tell them fix my suite up because I'm coming home. I heard they talking crazy. I was out of town. You know they let her pop all that shit when I'm not around. But when I'm here, not a sound that'll make me snap, jot it down, go in the booth, lay a body down, know some Somalis. They say we got it. Wallahi, get us donuts and coffee. We'll wait for him in the lobby. And I got to tell him chill. Sprite got me on payroll. Let that man live. Okay, if you say so. See, whatever I say goes. I play like I'm on roids. No Canseco. Jose Canseco, the baseball player. No Oakland A's, though. Shout out to the Beto. I'm on my 8th flow. Just watch me paint flow. He's spitting. We all do it for the art, so I can never hate, though. Another shot. Basically, taking shots, but that kind of like a J. Cole shot. I'm letting you know, I hear you. We're getting back to the art, but I can never hate, though. So I'm not going to, I'm sending a shot, but, the bullet hits me at the same time. Signing off on more deals than a lawyer with a heavy caseload. How the game turned into the Drake show. So now you're saying, hey, I took your spot. It's all good. I ain't going to hate. We do it for the art, but I took your spot. Dog, what the fuck happened to so-and-so? Where did they go? Too worried about bitches in fashion. They missing in action. I think this is aimed at Kanye. And then you never notice they missing on some Hunger Games shit. I would die for my district. Jennifer Lawrence, you can really get it. I mean, for real, girl, you know I had to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So, shots from Drake. Jay-Z then fires back on DJ Khaled's They Don't Love You No More. You ain't gotta love me for what? You ain't got love for me, my nigga. Niggas talking down on a throne. So he makes another reference to talking down on the throne. Drake comes once again, fires back on Summer 16. He says, I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay. How y'all let me run it? No, what? How y'all let me run it down here? I ain't even from around here. So basically saying, how y'all let me take over America when I ain't even from here? Used to want to be signed to Jay, then I turned into him, right? Furthermore, they say this is where things get messy. Kanye and Drake were working on music with one of the songs being pop style. At this time, you can see Drake and Jay were not on good terms. Kanye knew this, yet he still sent the song back to Dre with Jay-Z just saying one line on it. Kanye is very messy for even sending the track back or asking Jay to be on it, knowing him and Drake were at odds. And Drake did an interview where he basically was speaking in a condescending tone. with what's my guy? Zane Lowe. Drake and Jay seemingly resolved their issue in 2018 when they hopped on Talk Up, which was also on the Scorpion album. And they linked up for a photo. Excuse me. Q4Quee says, now I say seemingly because this was where the feud seems to have ended. Lots of people are wondering if Jay-Z was one of the bugs in Kendrick's ear egging him on to diss Drake. It's been rumored that Jay-Z tried to use Roc Nation artists Meek Mill and J. Cole to diss Drake and strip him of his position in hip-hop simply because Drake was on the heels of having a legacy as massive as Jay's. Now, we can't really confirm that to be true. I personally believe J. Cole and Drake did have a little moment as well. Back on those early times, back in the Hollywood Cole era. I can't confirm that, but if y'all heard how they were spitting at that time, I believe they did try to, do a little two-step. Just never went nowhere. All right. The same Rap Radar interview that I played earlier in 2018, Drake talks reconciling with Jay and how they worked on their relationship after the mudslinging. He says, I think Drake felt he had to choose Birdman's side when him and Jay were at odds. Jay never got over it. Furthermore, he says, last little bit, Drake has silent beef with Jay-Z's mentor, Leor Cohen. Drake has promised to sign with Leor Cohen. Oh, he did promise to sign. He was supposed to sign to Def Jam, I guess. And then reneged on the deal to sign with Cash Money, Young Money. He says, I'm sure Leor and Jay don't have positive things to say about Drake behind closed doors, but that's just his opinion. Okay? There's also the 30 for 30 freestyle from Drake where he says he thinks he also had some shots for Leor, being that he is one of the highest ranking executives in all music, who also just happens to be besties with Jay-Z and also hates Drake. Again, it's too bad I can't play these records. From there, Jay hopped on a couple DJ Khaled records and took some shots at Drake once again. He says, I don't know how y'all missed this back and forth, but it lasted for years. Of course. Make a way. We're not playing that. But he did say some shit on here. I think he was talking, I know you're not talking about Summers, right? I know y'all not talking about numbers, right? Y'all niggas acting like bosses when y'all really some runners, right? Or something like that. And then after this, it seems like everything got pieced up for good. But there was at least about a 6-7 year period where these guys was taking shots back and forth. And for the uninitiated or those that weren't really paying attention because the beats was banging and the hooks was catchy, you never really noticed who or what he was really saying like that, which is what a lot of Drake fans did for a while. So that's what we've got there on the timeline of Drake and Jay-Z's Subliminals. Again, I'm a hip-hop fan. If this isn't your cup of tea, you can come back later. You know what I'm saying? Or you probably would have left by now. So I'm into lyrics. I'm into lyrical battles. I'm into back and forths. I'm into like digging into the actual words, because that's what this genre, that's what this culture was actually built on. Once the MCs got introduced to the party, it was like, nigga, what you gonna say? Don't bring no whack shit. You're gonna get booed off stage. So yes, lyrics are an essential element in hip hop. And if niggas is trading bars doing that shit, I'm gonna dissect it because that's what I like to do. All right. This was fun. I'm about to sign out. I've got some more content coming for y'all later, so stay tuned. Don't go too far. Much love and respect. And again, for some of y'all muds, man, y'all be thinking y'all could talk to me any type of way, man. You can go. It's okay. It's all love. All right? But the real ones, the true insiders, much love and respect to y'all. I want to see nothing but good things happen for you guys, you ladies. All right? and I'm going to see y'all in a little bit. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some battery. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.